What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the tavern. I'm Spencer, and Eli's not here. He might have fallen asleep. So I'm going to run solo until he realizes that he's supposed to be on the podcast right now. We'll see how long that takes. I've already messaged him. But, yeah, anyways, how's everybody doing today? Today we had on the docket, first of all, we wanted to talk about De Novo Anti-Cheat, if you hadn't heard of that. It's a company that puts in DRM into just about any video game that you can purchase on PC, usually Steam, but Epic Games will have it too. And, well, what's up, Cheese? So the topic today is we're waiting for Eli to wake up from his nap to find out when he's going to join us. I've already messaged him. We'll see if he actually wakes up. But right now, we're just going to talk about De Novo. So, anyone not aware what De Novo is or what DRM is, DRM is basically what companies put in to their video games when they, like, whenever you buy a game on Steam, within the first few months of release, when most of the sales are taking place, they have DRM in place. Which DRM is digital rights management. It's basically piracy prevention for these games, which is great. It keeps the games from getting pirated. It makes sure the developers get the money from the games, all of that. The only issue with it is it kneecaps the game that it's attached to, especially De Novo. It causes frame rate issues. It just ruins the overall experience. Therefore, making it a more pleasant experience for the people who didn't purchase the game legally, for the thieves, the scoundrels. They get a better experience because this DRM just handicaps what this what the game's able to do. You wait a few months later, the DRM will get removed and the game will run fine. But that's just an inherent issue because you're penalizing people for legally purchasing the game and pretty much rewarding people for pirating the game because they get the actual experience. They get the experience the game is supposed to be. So it's a problem. It's an obvious problem. Anybody who plays games knows that a game not running at the proper FPS is going to ruin the experience. So De Novo actually, I had a tab open with it. I think I might have shut the tab accidentally. That's fine. Right there. Gaming news. So, De Novo is tired of gamers saying its DRM is bad for games. So yeah, this is the article on Games Radar. So, yeah, DRM software that has become the industry standard for anti-piracy protection. Everybody has hated De Novo recently, and I know there was some issue with the De Novo Discord where I can't remember that one in particular, but basically I think De Novo made a Discord and everybody just spammed it and insulted De Novo and trash talked it and everything, and they got super butthurt about it. But PR campaign manager for De Novo, Andreas Ullman, says, "I think it's super hard for a gamer. I'm a gamer myself, and therefore I know what I'm talking about. I think it's super hard to see, as a gamer, what is the immediate benefit for me that a certain game developer, game publisher, is using our anti-piracy services. This gap, coupled with the fact that Denuvo simply works and pirates cannot play games which use it, as Ullman puts it, are two main contributors to its negative reputation, he argues. Imagine being a nerd and having a podcast. Yeah, imagine being a nerd and falling asleep and not showing up for the podcast that you knew was supposed to be happening. You will pop this. I'll pop this over on so people can see it. But Ullman cites a new study suggesting that piracy can take about 20% of a game's revenue. If I, as a gamer, would read that, I see, okay, then these big corporations are just making even more money. What? Ullman says that with budgets for AAA games in the hundreds of millions, publishers are looking for insurance in forms like Denuvo. Gore, your flawless idea is certainly interesting, but that's a lot. I might do so with New Vegas, where I already have a I already have a basis of knowledge about most of the quests in the game. So I mean, I can play through all of them, but I generally understand, okay, this quest is good, this quest is bad. It's a lot. That's the challenge. The challenge is managing to care. Back in a weekly Bardic Blunders, we wait for Eli to wake the F up, so our reporter Crumpets talks about evil game company being evil and stupid like always. Seriously, why is this the new trend? Back to you, Crumpets. Thank you, reporter Cheese. We respect you for your coverage on the scene. Again, this does not have an immediate benefit for me as a player, but if you look further, the more successful a game is, the longer it will get updates. The more additional content will come to that game, the more likely it is that there will be a next iteration of that game. That's basically the benefits that we offer to the average player. No, what you offer to the average player is a kneecapped frame rate, usually cutting it in half. Games that can run at 60 FPS instead running at 30 because your stupid DRM doesn't function properly. So, yeah, the idea of, oh yeah, your game won't get pirated is fantastic. Piracy? Yes, piracy is bad. Piracy shouldn't have. Piracy's a no-no. But putting something that ruins the experience of someone who purchases the game legally is ridiculous. Another thing that it does, which this is I'm talking about this because if you've ever heard of Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar, he's a obviously much bigger channel than me, but he just covered this recently, and he talked about trying to play Metaphor ReFantazio between his Steam Deck and his computer. And another thing a DRM does is it limits the amount of the terminology's blanking on me right now, but it basically says, okay, you opened it up on your computer, and then you tried to open it up on your Steam Deck. Those are two different keys, and we limit the amount of times you can do that per day. So he tried to play on his Steam Deck, and that was one more switch than they allowed, and so he gets locked out of the thing he purchased legally for 24 hours. He cannot play the game for 24 hours because of Denuvo DRM. What a freaking asinine and just downright terrible way to prevent piracy. It's seriously unbelievable. But I don't want to sit here and poke holes in Ullman's argument. Yeah, that's I was mainly looking for his. As for the material components about Denuvo, namely that it negatively affects performance in the games that utilize it, There are valid cases, Ullman admits, especially when we're talking about the one that comes up on a regular basis. Tekken 7. That was also confirmed by the technical producer back in the day on Twitter. Thing is, I think it's important to understand how our solution works and is also worth considering. But when these performance claims come up, it's mostly this Tekken case that it's referred to. But considering we are protecting 60 to 70 games every year, it's quite interesting to see that there's only one, if even, a handful of games where there was an effective performance impact cost. That's really just a minority. False! Multiple games have been distributed, wrong word, displayed to have an impact on performance. And if it's not an impact on performance, it's preventing you from using the product you purchased for 24 hours. Can you imagine how asinine it would be if I tried to drive my car, but then I switched to somebody else's car for some reason because I needed to drive somebody else's car, and they went, oh, nope, you went into a different car. Now you can't drive for 24 hours. That's essentially what this is doing. It's brain dead. It doesn't make any sense. And I understand companies don't want to get pirated, of course, because you want the money from the thing you made. I understand that. That's all well and good. But this ain't it, Chief. So that's basically that whole thing. It's real frustrating and real stupid to look at. And then I love the line, I'm a gamer myself, and therefore I know what I'm talking about. He said that word for word. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. He legitimately thought that was a good thing to say. American. It's been so long. Song talks about a mother. Thank you, Gore. I don't think people would normally think of the Living Tombstone song from whenever that came out. Oh, geez Louise. But yeah, that it's really stupid. Denuvo does not benefit anyone but Denuvo, and it's the woke spotting thing. Oh, okay. I mean, that is a discussion, yes. I would prefer to leave that off of here because this is not politics. And I hate discussing politics. Because nobody can ever find a middle ground and be reasonable about politics. It's always, oh, you think differently than me. That means you're evil and you're bad. And I think that's a terrible way to think. But ultimately, Denuvo hurts whatever game it's a part of, not because of just performance, but also a number of people don't purchase games that are going to have Denuvo on them because they know what that's going to mean. They know that their game's not going to perform well. Denuvo is also like DRM anti-cheat is very invasive, so you're exposing your computer to that. It's just it hurts the games it's a part of. It hurts the players who decide to purchase and play the games. It's negative for everybody except Denuvo. Denuvo is the only one that benefits from it. But that's enough about that. We can move on from there. We're still waiting on Eli. He has not even looked at the messages I sent him. One second. We're going to send him another message. Okay. So I don't know. American politics like this. American politics is stupid. I can tell you that right now. Um, let's just do a quick gallivant through the r/gaming news subreddit to see what's new. Survey says half of developers consider VR market on decline or stagnation. Well, yeah, because the technology's just not there yet. Ubisoft has reportedly disbanded Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown dev team because why not? Of course they did. Sony wanted to lock Crimson Desert into a timed PlayStation exclusivity deal, but Pearl Abyss said no. Is this just going to be scrolling through all sorts of big game company bad style news? That's what it seems like so far. Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition price cut by $50. Nice. There's really not much else interesting that I'm scrolling through here. %47% of UK Nintendo Switch players are women. Nice. Women actually playing video games now? Cool. I got nothing. Okay, well, if we were going to talk about anime, the anime that I've been watching most recently was Undead Unluck. I have not finished it, but it is very entertaining. It's got a great concept of every single character that has powers has an unpower. And basically, I mean, the two main characters are Undead and Unluck, which you can probably guess what Undead does. And Unluck isn't too complicated either. Unluck is just if anyone she touches has a stroke of unluck. Gosh, this is hard to, I gotta say, guys, this is hard to do without somebody to bounce off of. I really wish that moron would wake up. I know he was sleepy through all of Stardew, but come on, man. I should have named this episode Flying Solo. Oh, was that him texting me? Let's see. No, that's an update for the Lightning game because the Minnesota Wild just scored. Fantastic. I could call the Lightning game. That'd be pretty funny. Anybody else got anything interesting that's happened in gaming here recently? Or does anyone else want to hop in and be a guest on the podcast to save my ass? Since my co-host decided not to show up. Play games. I mean, oh, I could talk about. So I just discovered again through some ordinary gamers Mudahar, this site called GOG.com that is another online storefront for games like Steam, but this not only I guess this is springboarding off of the DRM issue. It does not have DRM. You can purchase games without the DRM on this website. So you can buy newer games without having to worry about the game not functioning. Hi, group. I'm by myself because Eli fell asleep. It's got some problems. I haven't purchased any games on here yet, but there's a lot of them that I'm looking at, and I'm like, wow, dude. That, like, Elder Scrolls, I don't know why I just decided to read the whole name. Skyrim Anniversary Edition, $16.49. Like, that's a good deal, especially because on Steam right now, it's $40 for Skyrim, and then another $20 for the anniversary upgrade. You know, that's not bad. That's not bad. Chat, what about we all stop chatting and see what a solo podcast looks like? Oh, gosh. Don't leave me. Don't leave me here. Michael! Michael! But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. One thing too that GOG, as I've scrolled through here, there's things like the original Legacy of Kain. Like, they've got a lot of old games. We're typing a word again to leave Grumpus sitting alone for the next hour. I will not go for a full hour if Eli does not show up. We will end this super early if he decides to not show up. I understand he was tired, but goodness. But yeah, they have the Monkey Island games. Let's see, Deus Ex, the OG Metal Gear Solid. There's a lot of games on here that Steam just doesn't have. Have I tried harassing him? Yes, I've messaged him multiple times. I'm about to call him. Hold on, we'll call him on stream. Not getting an answer. Mm-hmm. Hey. You want to come join me on the podcast? You're good, man. If you just want to sleep, you can sleep. You're fine. Okay, buddy. You get yourself some sleep. I'll see you later. Okay, so Eli's not just groggy Eli. I could tell from the way he answered that phone. He was not fully awake for that call. Oh boy. I really don't want to play more games right now. I've already I spent 5 hours playing Stardew earlier. I'm like, oh goodness. What's my most disliked video? I was just looking at that yesterday. and it's actually a stream fairly recently. My worst percentage is episode 1 of Pokemon Y, which had 1 dislike and no likes. You blinked at 5 p.m. and woke up at 10. That's probably what just happened to Eli. But if we want most disliked... What was the one I was looking at the other day? Oh, yeah. The first episode of Stardew Valley had 6 dislikes. I'm pretty sure that's the most dislikes I've had on one, if I had to guess. Because most of mine have like 1 or 2 likes and no dislikes, so it's like, oh, 100% like ratio, but there's 2, so it's nothing insane. There's 3 times as many people here right now. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my most disliked video. It's kind of wild. People really didn't like that one. Unless I got a ton of dislikes on a short. Okay, yeah, on one of my shorts I had 15 dislikes. That was me and Eli playing Portal. But 67 likes, so... Do I want more dislikes? I'd prefer not to have more dislikes. But, yeah, I don't really know. We were supposed to talk about more anime, but Eli's the one that watches all the anime now, so... So he's the anime expert. You've added 1 more dislike to the Portal short. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sure it needed it. But, yeah. Sorry that this episode was kind of a dud, everyone, but it is what it is. We'll let Eli get some sleep. That'll give me some time to watch hockey and build my new PC. So, in stream after the intro. Oh, you're finally awake. And then it just ends. But, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I wonder if Eli will remember the call. Definitely not. I guarantee you he's going to show up to D&D on Saturday, and he's going to be like, oh, wait, we had a phone call? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we had a call. Don't do it. You love the laptop. I gotta replace it, man. I want to play games. Dark Souls crashed and Borderlands crashed. It's causing me all sorts of issues. I want a better PC. I want to be able to play Elden Ring. Hear me out. What do you got, group? Telling me join the podcast for like 20 minutes. That would be pretty funny. He might be able to call my BS on that one. I think he'll have the wherewithal to know that's a crock of crap. But no, I want to finish Elden Ring. I gotta finish the DLC at some point, and this little computer's not gonna do it. So, yeah. 10 minutes. I'll tell him he joined for 5. I'll see if I can get him to buy it. That'll be funny. But anyways, I won't see everybody tomorrow because I have to cancel because my mom needs me, needs my help with some things. So, no stream tomorrow. That means we're gonna try and do Phoenix Wright Saturday morning. We'll see if we can get it to work. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Tally ho.